don't know what to wear. As we age, fashion can become more and more of a problem. We go in our closet and don't feel good about any of the clothes in there. Now, lucky for us, we have fashion stylist Ilona Makar joining me on the podcast. She has a passion for empowering women to discover their unique style and fashion identity, to develop their inner confidence and show up in the world as their best selves. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Girls Talk Healthy Aging podcast, where we dive deep into pressing health and fitness issues facing aging women. I'm Allie Kerr.
And I'm Shawna Kaminski. And together we'll bring candid conversations, expert advice, and personal stories that will inspire and empower you on your own wellness journey. Well, Ilona, I've been meaning to have you on this podcast for a while now. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Allie couldn't be here, but I'm happy that we can make it work. And because I know that I'm not the only fashion challenged person out there. And you have helped me immeasurably in the last couple of years with fashion. And let's just kind of open it up by, like, why is fashion important? Why should we pay attention to it, especially as we age?
No, I think it's even more important as we age. But I think that fashion's important for a number of reasons. I think we're always out there sort of selling ourselves, right? People say, oh, I don't sell, but you're always selling yourself in some form or manner, right? And I think so then you're your best marketing opportunity to the world. So it's important that you look good. And I believe that, and I think most people would agree, that how we look can really affect how we feel. And if we have a great outfit on, you head out the door with your head a little higher, your chest a little bit more out, and you're taking on the world with a whole new, different vibe and energy. And I just think that being groomed, you have a better chance of getting what you want out in the world than you do if you showing up in your pajamas and bedhead. So super important.
Yeah. And I think, there's no better illustration of, when most of us were shut in over COVID and nobody could get their hair done. Everybody was wearing sweats. So many people gained weight because they weren't wearing their real clothes, probably not feeling as good in their own skin. And then everyone was so happy to kind of get out once the pandemic kind of came to a close, and was really happy to be wearing real clothes again.
Yeah, and really during that time too is in a shift in my industry was that we were doing things like everyone on Zoom, and we really came around to women really embracing buying clothing online. And I think we were kind of kicking and screaming, going to having to do it that way. But we still knew that that one new top or the new pair of jeans or whatever would make us just perk up a little bit. And we still wanted that, even though we were locked in or shut in, as you say. So I think that it provided a whole different way of shopping. And I did a lot of dressing from here up, right? Or Zoom. And even today, coming on the call with you today, I thought about some things that were like important to me to present to the world. And what I recommend to women who are on screen a lot is, it doesn't really matter what the bottom's doing. I've got my sporty slippers on like you have. And I'm going to wear my best colors. I'm going to wear my colors that make me feel most vibrant, because 9 times out of 10, those are the colors that are best for me, or the colors I feel good in. So of course I'm going to pick my blues, because blues are one of my favorite colors to wear, and I think they highlight my features the best. So that's a little tip for Zoom. And then not wearing things that are too overly busy, but looking finished with some jewelry, I think helps as well. But it just helps to play into that whole confidence thing.
Yeah, I think it's the whole confidence aspect of fashion. And then I really want to dig into this, because we got into this just before we kind of turned on record. And that was just the idea of, can women really wear anything at any age? And let's kind of dive into that, because I think we have a little bit of um, well, I think we agree, but it's kind of a touchy subject, isn't it?
It is a touchy subject, and I would say it's really subjective. And far be it for me to say, okay, you're this age, you shouldn't wear this anymore. That's my definition of what I see to be true. But I think it's most important for it to be true to the person wearing it and how they choose to look. You can wear anything in any age, but we do ourselves more favors when we wear something that's most definitely more suited for our age, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean because I'm of a certain age I'm gonna dress frumpy. Oh heck no. That's for sure when I want to turn to some things that make me feel maybe a little younger, that lighten my step a little bit. Maybe try on something a little bit different that I wouldn't ordinarily maybe do some pattern like this. But I think it's important to give these things kind of a try. But I see women on socials, and there is, oh, and I can't remember her name at the moment, a fashion icon who just passed away, and she was a woman of certain age. She was 90 something. And she dressed in the most flamboyant outfits you've ever seen. And I thought, oh my God, that's so not me. I would never wear that. But far be it for me to say she can't wear that because she
Yeah,
rocked it. She
yeah,
looked amazing and she owned it. And it was her style. It was her sense of how she wanted to show up with the world. So she was having fun. She was wearing what was true to her. And did it make her look older or younger? It just made her look her true to her.
yeah.
So, and we can accomplish whatever kind of look we want and through our fashion choices, but making it our own.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it depends on your audience. So, if you're working in an office, there are
Oh,
things
sure.
that are more and less appropriate. But I really like your answer in terms of we want to own the style and we want to wear the things that are making us feel most confident in whatever it is that we're wearing. I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'm offended, but I find it curious that now that I'm a woman of a certain age, that on social, I don't know if you get these ads of, dress for your age. I do you get those come up on some of your
Oh, heck yeah.
socials?
Oh, heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you followed those that gone down that rabbit hole?
Oh,
What do
for
you think of
sure. And I
that?
think we can really be influenced by what we see on our social media feeds. And the more we like
Yeah.
and look at it, the more we get of it, of course. And you kind of feel like, am I missing out? Is this something I need? Is this something I should have? Does everybody have this? If everybody has this, maybe I should have this. That's what they want you to believe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it feels and like it resonates with you and it's something that you want to try, and I mean it's your, goes according to your style. And I want to talk about learning what your style is because I think that's important. But FOMO is real, but I don't think it should dictate to us what we wear or what we buy. It needs to resonate with us and our style and how we wish to portray ourselves to the world. So, yeah, don't run to buy everything that's across your screen. But oh my goodness, I have found some cool little products, makeup products that have made a difference for me,
Yeah.
a woman of a certain age. And so I would say, if it resonates, give it a go. But I wanted to go back to learning about your style. What is your style? And there's very many styles out there. There's like boho chic, there's classic, there's artsy, that fashion icon. And somebody will let us know who she is. She's gotten her name. She was all about being artsy. And she was not all that not minimalist. And there's those minimalists and those classic dressers. There's those who were dressed a little more formal. Some dress more preppy or retro, eclectic. Find what your style is, and you kind of know what is you're most comfortable in, and don't stray away from that because I think that's really kind of true to who you are and how you'll show up best in the world if it's true to your style and how you see yourself in the world.
Yeah, and you've really helped me with that, um, because I mean, full disclosure, Alona has been into my closet that had 20-year-old fashions in it. And I felt pretty comfortable with you in there, with the embarrassing fashions that I had in there. And then,
Oh, they weren't that bad. They were.
well, when I looked at them in the presence of you, I'm like, what on earth is this? Was the last time I wore this? It's crazy. Why do I still have it hanging here? But you have really helped me, define my style. And, now when I shop, I'm better at picking out, the things that suit me best, the things that are going to be my go-tos in my closet. And you really helped me to pick out fashions, to that end. So I've really appreciated that about you. As you know, lots of my clients are, on a weight loss journey. And I
Mhm,
know that this has been part of your
mhm,
um, history, as it is almost
mhm.
every woman's. And
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about feeling good in the clothes that you're in when you haven't arrived at your weight. And how do you dress in the meantime when you've got this closet that's got clothes that don't fit? Do you try and squeeze into those? What do you do? What did you do?
I would say, don't be afraid to honor yourself in the size you are right now. You can have confidence in any size you are, bigger or smaller. And a lot of women go, oh, I just need to be smaller to be able to feel confident and have the right outfits or whatever. But there is an opposite to being on the extra lovely side to being really tiny and fun size, as I lovingly call you. Um, it's a challenge to dress a woman who is really tiny too. So I think a lot of people think it's always on the larger side. But like my mother, for example, who is turning 87, she's 100 pounds soaking wet, can't put on weight. She's of that age that it's difficult for her and it's challenging to find things for her. So honor where you're at, dress the body you have today. It is the only body you have. And you're going to feel good and more positive in the choices throughout your day. If you have an outfit on that fits you and looks good for you today, what was that saying? Trying to think. One healthy choice leads to the next, right? So let's do a healthy choice for our body for today in the body we are today. And that has served me well in that I was up to a size 14 and I was, full disclosure, probably pushing 190 pounds. And it was too heavy for my frame, but people didn't know
Yeah.
because I dressed for that body I had while I was working to become a smaller sized woman. It's also given me a great deal of insight on how to dress women who are larger than myself. Because some people will look at me and say, oh, well, you're so tiny, you can wear anything. And they might not think that I will know how to dress their bodies when they are extra lovely. Just had a woman who just left just before I came on with you today. And I spent the time with her showcasing and showing her how to dress her body based on the size she is today. And she is losing weight. And she was hesitant to buy pants, of course, but jackets and tops are just going to, like, your shoulders are not going to change.
Yeah.
Your shoulders typically will stay the same. How things will fit, obviously you don't want to get something super, super tight, but something that can change with you as you go. And your tailor is going to be your best friend.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to tailor. If,
Yeah.
especially if there's something you love, like I had a pair of denims, my white denims from my company Cabby that I had for, probably the last 4 years that I loved, and didn't want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So I lost my weight, and I took them to the tailor, and now I've got my favorite jeans still with me. So don't
Yeah.
be afraid to tailor because you will, those are especially if they're favorite pieces and pieces that look good on you, your colors. Stick with it. Stick with it. But invest in a few pieces that make you feel great today and tailor as needed as you lose your weight.
Well, my big, I think that change happens when you're feeling good.
For sure.
And when you're feeling good in the clothes that you're in, you're more likely to, just feel good about yourself. You're more willing probably to go for the walk, to get the workout in, to, choose some healthy food. But when you're wearing your husband's t-shirt and sweatpants, you're not good.
Where's the motivation? Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to feel as motivated to do something for yourself.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk a little bit about, and this was something I learned from you, Ilona, is what you called fast fashion. And I think there's a
Mhm.
real trend toward fast fashion. And I want to talk about, because you said invest in a few pieces. So let's talk about what that means as compared to fast fashion, and why why fast fashion is not really good for the environment in general.
No, no, and it's a really hot topic, and it's a very heated topic. We know that our landfills are really getting filled up with a lot of used garments in a big way, and the industry does want us to buy often, and they make that attainable through really crazy prices and poor quality, really trendy, very trendy garments that are flimsy and they don't wash well, and they're meant to be thrown out and thrown out often. And so it's set up that way for us. And then in comes a company like Cabby that offers a better and more sustainable solution with garments that are classic and that have some form of trend to them, but they're overall, they stand the test of time and can be worn over years. Then they're made of really durable, high quality fabric and so many amazing details that really you don't want to get rid of them because you just love, the little extra seaming details that might be on the sleeve or the back, or maybe some beautiful button details or something like that that really sets it apart from other pieces that makes you really want to keep them. um, and they're curated in a way that they're designed to mix and match over time throughout the season. So like we have a navy that's the same navy, and Shawna, you bought navy a couple of years ago. Maybe you bought navy this year, and the two can be worn together. So I'm saying this in support of company. Obviously, I work with them and I believe them and love the company, but it works because you can wear these pieces over time, mix and match. It's more sustainable. So you're keeping them and you're not putting them into the landfills. It's just garments that will last forever, that you love, that will stand the test of time and won't go out of style, that wash and wear well too. Because
Yeah.
that's important. Because some of these garments you can buy at some of these places that you're like, this is super trendy. I want this, whatever it is that's super trendy. And you wear it once, and you're like, I'll throw it in the wash. And you bring it out and it's a rag. And you're like, I can't wear this again.
Yeah.
Right. So is it better for you to spend a little bit more money to have pieces that last a long time? I think so.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I've also learned from you is putting on quality clothes, how they feel, how they fit. And I know that, like, I love Cabby, but I know that you're speaking of all brands that are a little bit higher end.
Oh, for sure.
And it's, you don't need to break the bank, but I think the point, and I know that you're not really pushing consumerism, that like, hey, you have to buy 5 new pieces every month. That's not the point. The point is you got to love what's in your closet, and you can add to it, but be selective with what you add.
Right, right. And sometimes those little hits of color, maybe like this season, pink is still very in fashion. We're still being influenced by the whole Barbie culture. And pink is still a really big color. And maybe you don't have any in your wardrobe and it really suits you. Like it suits you, Shawna, beautifully.
Thank you.
And that pink sweater that you wear from Cabby, your face just lights up. So maybe you don't have pink in your cupboard, and now pink is in, and you're like, that would be kind of fun to add to my wardrobe. Will it go with some of the rest of your pieces? Absolutely. Will it give you the shot of color and feel like you have a bit of that trend that's happening for spring, summer? Yes. So that's a good investment for you. It works for you and it will work with your wardrobe, and it'll bring in some of that color that we're seeing right now. So that's where you don't need to buy a whole new wardrobe all the time, but uh, things will wear out. Whites tend to can yellow over time. Blacks can fade over time. So of course we want to keep our things fresh. So be mindful of that in your closet. We talked about we were talking about earlier about how do you know when to purge your closet, and how to do that, and what's the best way of attacking that. And I always say, and you've probably heard this before, hang your clothes one way on the hangers, all the same way. And when you wear it, turn the hanger around. Then at the end of a 6-month period, or maybe for you, it's a year-month period, a year's period, that those hangers haven't turned around. Those are not giving you joy. And those aren't the pieces you're pulling for often. So maybe those are the pieces that need to go.
Well, and the nice thing about if you're buying quality clothes, you don't necessarily have to, like, you could consign them. If you don't love them, someone else could. You could donate them, you could
Oh, for
consign
sure.
them. But I did want to ask you what your strategy for doing a closet purge is to keep the closet updated so that and I'm much better since we did our closet purge. And I came out with 4 garbage bags
Yeah.
of clothes so on the face value of it, it would seem like, wow, I have so less options. But I actually felt like I had more
Yeah.
options.
And you can clearly see them now too, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's organized in such a fashion, like we organize them according to categories, right? And
Yeah.
we
Go through
started.
this so that our listeners will be like, okay, Ilona tells me I should purge my closet. Go through what you did with me from the moment you walked in the door. What did we do?
Wow, what did we do? I'm just moving my screen over here so I can show you my what I've got behind me here. And it's certainly not organized according to color because I've got a whole thing going on with my seasonality of the garments that I sell. But I've got my sleeveless garments here. I'm starting with, like pieces together, and then I'm going to ones with collars and sleeves, and then I'm going into ones that have long sleeves and are more of a full garment, a full blouse with a long sleeve collar, that kind of thing. And then knits and stuff are at the bottom here. So, and the long pieces are just dictated by the length of the structure I have here. But putting things together that actually are categorized together makes it easier for you to find them. And I would also do them according to color, because then you can see everything easily laid out in front of you, and you can go, oh, I've got this blue sweater over here and I've got this blue top over here. I can pull these together. This is going to be a great outfit. And your pants are over here. They're all organized according to color. These pants are a little bit so mixed in with a little bit of other things there. But when you've got room in your closet, you've purged, you've taken out those 4 bags, you can clearly see what you have to mix and match a whole lot better. When you're
Yeah.
buying with a company like the one I have, they make clothes to mix and match over time. And that certainly will give you more options. It'll give you more clarity for what will mix and match together. And I think that's really what we created for you. We got rid of all the things in your closet that, like, you had this one top and you're like,
What do I do with
I
it?
call it an orphan. So you got an orphan in your closet. And where did those orphans come from? Those orphans come from when we buy on the spur of the moment, without a little thought, without thought, instead of buying things that will mix and match, like the top you have is from my current line. So that makes sense to have this top and this top to go with this because I'll have more mix and match ability.
Yeah.
So buy those things that work with what you've got in your closet. Don't buy that hit color that won't match back to other things. Then it becomes more paralyzing when you go into your closet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Closet, so what did somebody say? Your closet should feel like when you go to the bar and you know everyone in the room, it's like cheers, everyone knows your name. You should feel good. Your closet should be all your favorites that you walk in and you feel good. So it
Yeah.
makes it easy to pick them, and it should spark joy. But you can't have too much because a confused mind says no.
Yeah.
And you walk in and go, oh my God, I've got all this stuff. I've got nothing to wear. So
Exactly.
you may want to take that paralyzation away to be able to have more simple solutions sitting there that mix and match easily.
So, to go through a little bit, I mean, you kind of talked about what the end of the
The end
closet
result.
purge looked
Yeah,
like, but at the
yeah.
beginning, basically, what we did is we took everything
Everything
out.
out.
I tried everything on.
Yeah,
How did it feel? Like some
yeah,
things I'm like, Alona, I'm not trying this on. I know I don't want this.
right.
So we tried everything on. It's really great to do with a friend. If you have a stylist like you, that's invaluable. But even just with a friend, because I would have petered out 15 minutes into the process. I think we took about 90. So we took everything off the hanger. I tried it on. We made a giveaway pile. We hung some things back up. When we hung them up, and I still don't have the same matching
Hangers.
hangers yet, but
That's
that
another key.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, having the same hanger that is a low profile one.
Yeah, that's key.
Yeah,
Especially if you have a little bit, your space is challenged. You
yeah,
want to have those hangers that are slimline, but you also have to make sure that they're durable
yeah.
because if they're too flimsy and you go to push your clothes to one side, they'll
They
snap.
come off.
So yeah, or the hanger itself will snap because it's just not
Yeah,
strong enough. And you
yeah.
want to make sure that if you're hanging things like sweaters,
Yeah,
that
you
you
don't get
have
the,
something soft over so that you don't get the little pointy things
yeah,
sticking out of the shoulders of your
shoulder
garment.
boobs.
Or take sweaters that don't. This one, for example, doesn't wrinkle. You could easily fold this and put it into a cupboard, and
Sure.
that will save you
Yeah,
space inside of your closet.
yeah,
Same with jeans. Denims don't need to be hung.
yeah.
Uh, Blouses for sure, more so need to be hung, but sweaters are great folded as are denims, and
And
just
the
slide
pant
it in them.
hangers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I love the pant hangers. I love my pants. I can see all my pants,
Right.
so it just makes it so. And I still have them organized by color. So your lesson stuck with me.
Good, good. I said, like I say, there's nothing more appealing than when all your hangers are the same. It
Yeah,
just creates a clean aesthetic, and that's a great place to start. But pull everything out, and unfortunately, it's going to take time, especially if you don't have someone working with you. It's
yeah,
going to take you longer because you're going to agonize over, oh my God, do I really want to get rid of this? If I get
yeah,
rid of this, will I regret getting rid of this?
yeah,
But go with your first instincts typically. You kind of know, and go with the colors that are best on you. Don't keep those colors that you put it on, you feel drab.
yeah,
Keep the pieces that spark joy, that fit, that aren't super trendy, that will last the test of time. And that's kind of what we did in your closet.
yeah,
And instinctively, too, you knew what worked on you.
yeah,
And your number one complaint, because you're fun size, your number one complaint is everything's too long and I have to tuck everything in. So, the number one lesson for Shawna is let's get you something that is this length,
yeah,
right? So if you're not feeling challenged about having to tuck everything in. So
yeah,
that's kind of important to go with your gut, go with your
yeah,
instinct, because a lot of women typically know. They go, oh, I don't go towards this. I'd like to investigate that. Why don't they
yeah,
go towards that? What is it about that? So that
yeah,
I can understand to help them and guide them to get the pieces that suit them that they will really enjoy. And
yeah.
especially for different body tapes, sizes and shapes.
Yeah, I really learned that I'm a lazy dresser. I don't like to fuss with tucking things in. So why would I buy something long?
Oh, for
So
sure.
even if I love a piece, but it's like, oh, it's going to be an effort to tuck it in because I'm lazy. Nope, that's not for me. So
I wouldn't call it lazy. It's just because there's a lot of material to tuck in when you're shorter.
not, yeah,
And so it's just not need you don't need nobody needs that extra bulk around the middle. So it's
yeah,
better for you to have those shorter pieces, and it brings the body up. It will also make you look longer and leaner. Same
yeah.
thing with, you know, this
Pushing the sleeves up.
raising the sleeves. This is a a pivotal technique that I think a lot of women don't know. And if we have time to share that, I'd love
Yes,
talk
do. I was
to
going to
talk
say,
about that.
give us some
Um,
tips.
so especially if you're shorter, but I think it's important for any woman if you want to look longer and leaner. Let's highlight some of the parts of the body that are the slimmest. Our wrist. So wearing jewelry, bracelets on the smallest part brings attention to the smallest part. So of course we want to highlight our narrowest parts of our body. Same with ankles as well. If you've got narrow ankles, that's a great place to bring your pants up, especially in the summer. Cropped pants are so in right now. In the winter, wear them with boots. We are still Canadian. We got to keep warm. But in the summer, you roll those denims up if you can and highlight those narrowest parts. But if I do a quick demonstration for you, if I'm standing with my arms straight down and my sleeves are straight down, visually you are seeing my body width from this side to this side. This is the way your eye registers the width of my body. The minute I do this,
Roll your
all of
sleeves
a
up
sudden, your eye sees my width from here to here,
at
and
the
I
most
appear
narrow.
slimmer. I will also appear taller.
Yeah.
So, why would we not want that?
Yeah. Yeah.
There are very few women who this technique doesn't work for.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And just being able to have that, have the garments to be able to do that. And, don't be too fussy about this business. Oh, rolling till you have something that's so fat on your arm you can't even move your arm. Make sure you have some fun with it, like pull it up, scrunch it up, and make it just look like, oh, I just kind of threw it that way, because I think that is more authentic and it's much more comfortable than
Yeah. And
rolling.
rolling
But
them up.
that's a great technique. So is monochromatic dressing. Anytime that you can do monochromatic here to here or top and bottom, and
Yeah.
that's why we offer a lot of sets, because that is going to make you look longer and leaner, and it gives
Yeah.
you much more opportunity for mix and matchability. So you
Yeah.
can extend your wardrobe. I always say, especially in reds, if you're going to buy the red pant or buy the red jacket, don't miss out on buying the red pant. And I'd even recommend buying the red blouse, not wearing them all at once.
Yeah.
I mean, some people can, but most people will find that a lot of color. But even for your navies or your whites, it's a really lovely look, but it gives you much more mix and matchability
Yeah.
and just extend that wardrobe. So and especially with reds are always a little bit different. At Cabby, our navies are always the same, our blacks are always the same. But reds tend to change over time. So it's important to get those pieces that mix and match when the season is here, when we have the jackets and pants together. Don't miss out. Like if there's a skirt that's offered with the jacket, buy the two pieces, because
Yeah.
you can't go back after that season is gone. Those pieces are gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So staples, what are
Yeah.
what are some of the staples you think that would be important to have in a wardrobe? I guess it depends
Yeah,
on
staples. I think staples depend too on what your life looks like and the
yeah,
places that you go. But generally, the staples are good quality fitting garments. Things like a good denim, I think, is really important. I think you need a dark denim and a light denim, and they will provide different wearing opportunities. Right now, wide legs are seeming to be a little more on trend, but I'm not going to tell you your narrow legs are out. Please don't hear that, because that is not true. I'm wearing narrower legs right now, but I think more the trend right now, very contemporary, is the wide leg. So I would say have one of both and experiment. See what makes you feel great. A classic blazer is really important. Layering pieces are important, but a classic blazer can really take you far. A great white blouse, or it doesn't have to be white, but a neutral.
yeah,
A t-shirt, a white t-shirt could be a graphic tee. That's kind of fun. But a good suit is important, I think, in your wardrobe. A blazer, pants, or skirt. Um, Unfortunately, we typically all have to attend a funeral here or there. It's important to have a suit. Maybe it's a job interview. It's important to have a suit. So I think that in that blazer, not only can it take you to the office and to important events like that, but throw on that graphic tee and a pair of jeans, and you can flip out a whole bunch of different pairs of shoes, whether it be a sneaker, a wedge, a bootie. It can just take you so many places. That is like the basic uniform, I think, for you're invited out somewhere. We were invited out to the bar for somebody's monumental birthday, and I was like, oh, what am I going to wear? Like, I don't want to be too dressed up, but I don't want to be too casual either. And of course, I want to wear my cabbie. I wore a great blazer, a casual shirt, a pair of nice blue jeans with a belt, finishing off your look with some jewelry. I looked put together, but I didn't look too dressed up. It
yeah,
sort of fits a lot of different categories. So
yeah,
I'd say some of those things are important. A good casual pant, cargos are really in right now. Talked a little bit about layering pieces like a sweater or a cardigan, and just making sure that they can really all mix and match. And you'll be amazed at the number of outfits that you can make with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what would you say would be 3 fashion faux pas that women make as they age?
Fashion faux pas. Again, I think that's kind of
Pretty controversial.
controversial and subjective. Well, if we're talking about your look in general, not just through clothing, but I think fashion faux pas are. I think that we need to change our look dramatically as we age. I think like, and I mean like through fillers, surgery, and fad diets. I think to keep up with the old version of ourselves. We're not the old version of ourselves. We are who we are today. So we have to embrace who we are today. But that doesn't mean we can't tweak some things and try some new tricks and continue to look fresh and age gracefully.
Yeah.
Um, I'm certainly I'm glad to be aging. I'm glad to be on the planet to have another day. Do
It's
I
a
love
gift.
it's a gift. Do I love aging? Hell no.
No,
But
no, let's go down fighting, but
yeah,
let's
go down fighting. But let's again be
do it
realistic about
appropriately.
yeah, how we do that.
Yeah.
Whether that be like I watch a lot of influencers with different makeup tricks. And whether that be doing a slight contour on your cheek to give yourself a little bit more of a definition in your face, or a little bit of a highlighter on your cheek to give yourself that youthful glow that you might feel that's kind of gone away. Those little things can add a lot of brightness to your look. So can hair. I think I'll talk about that in a sec. But I think another faux pas women make is that they give up. They
Yes.
give up and they
Yes.
give in and they go, well, they stop caring.
Yes.
Stop caring about how
Yes.
you look.
Yeah.
To me, there's nothing sexier than a woman who cares about how she looks.
Yeah.
And she embraces that age naturally, but she wants to keep looking fresh and like I say, have that kind of youthful glow. And whether that be through clothes, through hair, makeup, or skincare, I think it's really important to embrace who you are and never stop trying to freshen your look. But happy to be the age that I am, but of course, cool when others go, oh, I thought you were 10 years younger. I mean, who doesn't want to hear that?
Yeah.
And if they don't card me at Shoppers Drug Mart on Senior's Day, I'm mad at them.
Exactly. Well, I would say that and I am not the fashionista, but I think ill-fitting clothes
Yeah,
would be a faux pas. Like I really like your thoughts on dress for the size that you are
yeah,
today,
yeah,
because I think people will feel more confident in clothes that are fitting well. And everybody wants, youth is so idolized,
yeah,
but I wouldn't trade my smile lines. Would I like them to be less prominent? Yes. Would I like these worry lines to be less? But these
yeah,
are the gift of age.
yeah,
And so I would encourage women to also embrace those aspects of themselves and not feel lesser than
yeah,
because they may have wrinkles. And everybody has to do what makes them feel good. But I would encourage women to be, love the skin you're in,
for
and
sure.
health is probably our number one goal.
Yeah, so I think that that plays in nicely to you and your area of expertise, and that is um, a good way to stay younger, to feel younger, is to move your body, to be
Yeah.
physically fit. And if it's not perfection for fitness, at least you're working on it.
Hmm.
And I'll thank you for that. And thank you for taking me from a place, and I could get quite emotional about this, but taking me from a place where I'm going to do your little demonstration where Shawna said to me, your world is going to come like this. If
And she's
you
just bringing her hands in for if you're listening
yeah,
on the podcast,
yeah,
from
yeah.
large to
Bringing your
small.
hands in. That's right. Because my field of what I could do and attempt to do and would try was getting narrower and narrower and narrower. No, I can't do that because I have this. And because now I feel stronger in the body that I have, I'm more assured in the body that I can do the things that will keep me youthful. And not only in how my body looks, but in how my mind feels and what my mind tells my body and vice versa. And
Yeah.
to be able to go out during our snowmageddon that we had here locally in our city this last week, that I could get out and shovel the sidewalk. It's a gift to be able to do that, and I could do that without, and I couldn't do that before. I mean, that sounds silly, but I wasn't able to. And now I feel like I feel more youthful. I feel more energetic, and I
Yeah.
think it comes out in how I'm dressing and how I look and how I appear and how I show up in the world. And these things are all so very connected. That goes back to eating properly as well, and
Yeah.
the whole nother story that
Yeah.
we're working on. But yeah.
So, Ilona, if you had a wish for our listeners today, what would it be?
Ah, dress for the skin that you are in and wear the things that make you happy. I wish that, that women, especially women, but men too, don't give up just because you're aging and you go, well, this is it, this is me, I can't do anything more. I wish more for you than that, because you're going to feel better about yourself when you show up differently in the world. And people react differently to you
Yeah.
depending on how you show up in the world. If you want more opportunities, they will come to you when you look well groomed, when you are more energetic, when you're feeling good.
Yeah.
So dress for the skin you're in today. Feel good about it. Wear those happy colors. Show up as your most vibrant self, and it will come back to you.
And my wish is that, along with not giving up, because I think that's really important, is to try some different fashions. I mean, that was
Oh,
your
definitely.
gift to me as well, Ilona, is you had me try on clothes that I would never have put on, and they are some of my favorite pieces. And it helped me learn what I really did feel confident in. And I know a lot of women are not, entirely feeling great in the skin they're in today, but
Mhm.
maybe try some different styles, some different fashions, and feel good along the way of your health journey, because
Absolutely.
the thing is you'll never feel like you'll have arrived. Like, even if and when you lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds,
Right.
however many
Right.
pounds, that
Right.
you'll still feel like you haven't arrived. And so then you're never really going to feel good about the clothes you're wearing. So number one, buy some nice pieces.
Yeah.
Number two, wear the damn pieces.
Wear the damn pieces. Don't leave them in the closet. Give them a try. I don't know how many times I try something for my company. I'm like, okay, this isn't me, but I really like it, and I'd really like to like it. And I put it on, and I'm like, oh, I want to go change. No, leave it on. Walk out the door, and all of a sudden you're going, oh, I just got a
Oh,
compliment. I just got another compliment. So it does reinforce, give it a try. But you were open to the concept, and I think far too many women come to me with an idea of who they are exactly, and will not look outside that little box that they've created for themselves, which is so paralyzing.
yeah,
Like, it's boring. Like, let's have some fun. And
yeah,
that will definitely energize you. But I think that for you too was a key, because you're like, really? I could wear that. I could try that, because I could see it on you, because I knew it would work on you. But you
yeah,
were open enough to try it. And so I'm like, be open to trying new things, because it might just be your new favorite thing. And don't just live in that same box, because that box needs to change over time and more
yeah.
over time, because our skin tone changes, our hair changes, our body changes. So let's try new things that maybe we wouldn't have been open to before, because you might find your new favorite thing. And you certainly did, but you were open to it. So give it a go.
Thanks for listening. You'll find me, Allie, on Instagram at Allie Kerr Fitness.
And you'll find me, Shawna, on Instagram at Shawna Kaminski. Feel free to pop us a DM with questions and or feedback. If you're enjoying the Girls Talk Healthy Aging podcast, please subscribe and share it with other health-minded women. Ratings and reviews are also much appreciated and help us get our message out to a larger audience.
Until next time, be healthy and be happy.